So, hi everyone. So, I was gonna get right stuck in with those wordy cards again because I got completely confuzzled and thought it was already Scorpio moon, but that's actually tomorrow. So, well, it's tonight. It's like midnight tonight my time. And I could get stuck in, but I'm way more. I don't know. Like I just really like to go in full detective shaman mode when the moon's in Scorpio. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. And also, I realised it's because it's Sunday. Do you know what I mean? But I've rested, and again, I like because I hadn't changed the cube thing. That was yeah, a good wee break that I've taken off there, and I feel ready to get back into it this week coming. So I'm excited. And if you're new to me, my name's Claire, not Crystal, and everything I do is centered around helping and healing and empowering the twin flames, your divine feminine energy and your divine masculine energy within you, balancing and aligning that energy and attracting whoever your divine mirror is. Wow, imagine if I could get that out in a minute or so. That was quite. You listen to that back. It was a bit, what's the word? It was a bit too hard to remember. Yeah, that's the thing about channeling. It's a shame. It's like they've got me to say that, and I wouldn't remember to say that every time. But it is what I do in quite a flowing, elegant way that they go, look, yes, in the divine feminine way that I am, the queen that I am, that you are out there, or kings, or whatever you identify as the empowered divine feminine that I am, helping you on this journey, hopefully. And welcome if you're new. Please subscribe, like the video, share it with your twin flame pals. I wouldn't share it with anyone else. And well, if they're in a dark place and they can't sleep, I would actually. But it's just they'll be interested in the other ones, you know what I mean? You might like the banter for a live, mind you. But anyway, right, so, but again, I don't think I'm going to be doing that for a while. So I'm shuffling the Twin Flame Ascension cards before I actually want to get into that. So it's Libra Moon right now. Libra Moon is the 7th house of love, partnership, union, marriage. It can also be, when I look at people's charts, it's where your karmic partners lie as well. Awkward, but it is like whenever, definitely for myself, I've noticed any sort of karmic situations have always sort of been in the 7th house. But usually, if you do have access to, if you even know who your twin flame is, I bet you'll find that it's like there's it's like it's like I've heard people say before placeholders, but it's like, well, that's really harsh. But hey, but do you mean but you see, it's not just about, that's not just in the romantic sense. It's that can be friends too. So it could be someone you've been friends with for like 20 years, but it's like you find when you move away from those certain people, the love of your life kind of thing steps in. It's not always right away, but it's often the case that you're meant to grow and learn and evolve with these people in your life, whether it's romantically involved or friendships or work or whatever. And then you move it along and you be where you're meant to be, right? So I made it sound really easy, didn't I? But look, yeah, you become one with yourself, and that's when you find your twin flame. You're blossoming right now. Some of you are in the, the lotus flower bit. Do we like my nail varnish? I fucking love it. I need to top it up again, but oh my god, I'm just obsessed with forest green. I've got about fucking, don't know how many forest green tops and jumpers and shit. I'm digging the green jumpers right now, guys. I'll be wearing a green jumper every day because I'm like, it's going to get warm soon and I need to get the wear out of these green jumpers. Do you know what I'm saying? Well, that's so funny. You won't be able to see it anyway because I'm doing this. But, right, I don't, bloody, bloody, blah. I'm going to pull one. Sorry, I'm just like, I don't want to be here forever. So it is, yes, it's Libra Moon. So it's balancing, like say, so that's actually what I help people do all the time, but it is balancing your masculine, feminine energy today because Libra's balance, it's justice. I do feel there's a lot of scales being balanced right now, like karma wise. Like I feel, and that can again, it could be a great or a not so great thing depending on what karma you're living out there. But it can always, again, don't beat yourself up if you do feel like you've fudged up, as I wrote that in the wee post there. Oh my god, how weird, they're pulling me. It's not weird, but they're pulling me at the word karma. I've got karma cards over there and they're pulling me. I'm not going to get them, but they've pulled me at the word karma. It's like, yeah, there's always things that you can do to to balance the scales. But again, if you are somebody that's really intent, like, you know, the ones that I kind of untangle people from, like if you're somebody out there that's gossiping, lying, purposely being horrible, you know, about others for no reason, well, fucking pray, you know what I mean, pray for forgiveness, I guess. But right, so let's pull a surrender card. So I express love and create harmony wherever I go. So that is very Libra moon. Today's the 15th. The 15 is the devil in the tarot, is what is striking me. So, you know, do you listen to the devil on your shoulder telling you that you can't do it? Do you listen to your fear telling you that there's no point? Whatever it is. 555, it's too big a change. Again, I'm really picking up on, see, it feels like I'm already channeling that Scorpio moon. That's probably why, so I mean, I live in the future timeline, so that's probably why I was already feeling it. Was, I did get mixed up too, but it's probably why I was already feeling the Scorpio energy. Yeah, so it was people needed a heads up, because again, if you knew the kind of energy that I've been in, like, I'm in just total chill mode, and it's because I wasn't actually planning on being open to clients until the 17th, but I mean, that's in a couple of days, so, but again, it's like, I'm not expecting there to be a big, huge, mad rush, and I know that the priorities are to, this week will actually just be taken up with doing the pre-recorded readings that are waiting. Thank you for understanding, ladies. Very Mercury retrograde, but definitely needed to see it myself first, and I feel excited to get back to it now. So again, I'm hopefully being a good example to you of, you really do need to fill your own cup up before you help others. I know these cheesy sayings, but it is true, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not feeling good for whatever dark night of soul or spiritual awakening or ascension, or like me, it was just I really cannot stand this time of year. And the collective energies that I'm picking up on in the world in general, and definitely for the waves, the different waves of twin flames where people are at, it's just all really, really intense. And it's yeah, and lots of confirmation as well, like, oh yeah, lots of confirmation in the last video I done, just loads of huge things coming at me for to share with people. Right, so so what do we need to surrender? Because that's all quite heavy is the point. Capricorn is about goals, working hard. It's tough lessons. It is karma, actually, because Saturn rules Capricorn. And we've got, so yeah, Capricorn season. Well, not for too much longer, actually. We'll be shifting into Aquarius soon. And then the 22nd, actually, is when we move in to the year of the rabbit. So don't ask me what that's like. Oh, actually, I'm imagining it'll be something about fertility. I just always think rabbits. I always just think shack. I might be wrong. I'll need to Google that after. I'll put it in the comments. But yeah, whatever. You can look at what year the rabbit is. I think I did look it up, then I forgot. So, but it kind of feels like the Jupiter and Aries energy, which I would say that is that energy too, actually, depending on where it is in your chart. Right, okay, so what do people need to surrender to then? Let's do it like this, right? Oh, fuck. This is what they wanted me to do when I got back to it. And I'm wondering if I should... I'll do a smaller scale of it right now. Because again, I don't want it to be this long, but I know people are going to be laughing because they're going to be thinking, fucking hell, you always say this and it's like an hour video. I wanted to do 3 waves. It's not really waves. I just was guided to do... I'm going to do people that are new to the journey, twins in separation, whether that, and that could work out or not so much, because it could be like you've been in separation a year, it could be like 10 years, it could be longer than that, you know what I mean? So we'll just see how that works out. It might just be that it's, I cover some, can I cover all, you know what I mean? We're not that big a channel right now, so I'm sure it'll be fine. And then twins in union, because like I say, I do know there are a few people that tune in that are in union, so that are married or with their twin or all that kind of stuff. Right, so, and then we'll just, yeah, I'll just see. Right, so where is then the divine feminines that are new to the twin flame journey? Now, nobody watching me might even be somebody that's applying to that, but that doesn't matter. We'll just pull it anyway and see how it resonates with. Experimenting. And you see what I'm doing here? It's like what I channeled. Like, I'm not and 10 is about endings, which then reduces to a 1, which is new beginnings. I'm not kind of like staying stagnant. If I get bored of something, like again, it's not that I was bored, but those messages all leading up to Christmas were clearly, Christmas and the New Year there were clearly for twins that is going to resonate with, either in real time or, you know, like I say, it could be like, you know, this month at some point, February, March, it could be even, I don't think it would be any later than kind of springtime, whatever, but how do I know? Sometimes these things make sense years later. And then that was so much energy to put all that out over Christmas and New Year that now it's like I wanted to do something a bit different, not loads different. So, and I've got other stuff coming as well, but for the divine feminines that are new to the journey, what do you need to surrender right now? Or anyone that resonates with. Surrender, oh my God, look at that. So, surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. Now, this is interesting because, oh shit, I need to read that, yeah. This is interesting because I'm actually getting with this too. For a few select people, now don't panic again, and if it's something that you are not sure about, I'd advise that if you trust me, book a session, or, you know, go to someone that you trust, but that could actually be that you think somebody's your twin flame and they're not. Now, again, you're going to be the one to be the best decider. You know what? I'm kind of hesitating to say that because love can blind you. So not for everyone. If you've been used to codependent, narcissistic, toxic stuff around you, you could gaslight yourself. So again, this is either going to be you need to finish up karmic stuff and you know you've got a twin flame. Especially because of what I wrote about the Scorpio moon tomorrow. If you go and read the post, that'll resonate with someone. It should resonate with us all on some level. You know that there's all toxic habits, situations, or people, or a bit of all of it that we need to be leaving behind to move forward to healthier ways of being. Yeah, right, I'm tempted to, but I'm not going to tune into that anymore because I'll be here forever. Right, so what about the divine masculines that are new to the journey to go with the divine feminines that are newer to the journey? The counterpart of the energies that are going to, now remember, divine feminine, divine masculine can be any gender as well, so the divine masculine to go with that. Surrendering your attachment to results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to desired outcome can sabotage it. Oh no. Fucking hell, I've not got energy for this shit, but they're making me go psychic detective, obviously, because that's that part of my chart. What I'm actually feeling from this is, although I said divine feminine, divine masculine, it feels like a woman in a connection. So again, this isn't going to be for everyone, so it's just whoever it's for. A woman in a connection is with a karmic, and it's like a man that's the divine feminine. And I feel the reason why this might be the only reason why they got me to do this today, is that it's like, if this is for you, if you're the man, you might be trying to fit yourself neatly into the divine masculine box, being like, why does none of this resonate? And it's because you're the divine feminine, because it's like, you know, you're focused on you. I feel you, I'm really tuning in. So when I feel you are somebody that really, you know, balances your chakras, hermiting, going within, you know, you're over kind of superficial, like one night stands and stuff, and even just like superficial, surface based, proper relationships that many people do feel comfortable in. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's where you're at, that's where you're at. But whoever this guy is, like, you're over that. But it's your feminine that's really complicated. But I feel, wait a minute now, I'm getting into it. I feel that feminine might think, this is refreshing. I just looked at 1444, but yeah, that just confirmed it. Whoever the feminine is. Oh, so again, this is really interesting because it could be the masculine that's watching this, or it could be the feminine, or it could be both. And imagine if it was like two people that watch the channel that are each other. I'm just putting that out because it might not be in real time, but that's what I'm getting. It's like the feminine thinks that karmic partner's the twin flame, and it's not. It's whoever this guy is that's like. Is that true? Give us like 3 cards to. I can feel it's true. I wouldn't be saying it if it wasn't. Yeah, sacred sexuality, access and unified field. It's like they're trying to guide that female away from being in karmic situations. Reprogram your soul, release, raise, reclaim. It's to do with worthiness. Multi-dimensional healing. Yeah, so whoever that's for, if that's resonating, look, Dark Night of Soul. So how interesting that it's specifically a female that's new at the journey. So if you're not new at the journey, if you've been around for ages, I doubt it's going to be yours, but again, you can let me know if it did. I feel it's just they really wanted to get that message out to somebody, so I'm hoping they're subscribed or they'll subscribe later, but that you, if you're the female, are in the Dark Night of Soul and you're in the masculine energy, and it feels very much like you're self-sabotaging. Can you tell us about that karmic partner? If this comes out with something about karmic partner, that's going to blow my mind. Can you tell us about the karmic partner that this woman thinks is her twin flame? Clarify that. Processing karmic debris, express yourself. Oh no, right, okay, because I was like, what the fuck do you mean? So it's like the karmic partner or false twin flame, I want to use that term in this case. All karmic situations do serve a purpose, whether it's romantic or friends. That's part of this woman in divine masculine energies. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Part of the so actually, by the way, although I'm saying women, some men could resonate with it. Anyway, that's too confusing. If you're new, you'll get it. It's like the way that it comes through so all over the place, but fuck it, people are meant to get. It's part of this divine masculine woman that's near the journey's mission to be with that karmic partner, to then see through it, to see who the real one is. Again, it's a common story for all times, and then speak up about this isn't right, and then come out of that situation. And it's like processing karmic debris. The 5-5 big change. Yeah, look, to realise who masculine twin releasing lower self, but that's the woman. If you're the woman, you're doing that, releasing the lower, releasing the low self worth and the thinking that that's all your. Good for fucking hell. That's pretty heavy. Right. Okay. So let's now do. I'll read that tomorrow. I'll read that tomorrow. That's very Scorpio. It was a wee thing about when I was channeling about ADHD. It was a wee thing that the woman gave me. Right, so in separation, again, whether it's been a year, a couple of years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever, it'll just be whoever it makes sense to. And hopefully it's not a confusing one like that last one. If it's not yours, it's not yours kind of thing, you know what I mean? Common fucking sense, which I see a lot of people on YouTube don't seem to have, but that ain't my soul family, is it? Call me fast. Right. Twins in separation. Where is... Oh, why am I shuffling a minute? What does the feminine need to say? Whoa, surrender. Low, see, it's kind of like similar to the last one. The divine feminine, regardless of gender, needs to surrender low self-esteem. You deserve success, love and abundance. Set an intention, identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. Okay? So, know that you are a sunflower growing through adversity. Oh, you can't even see this, sorry. You're blooming right now. You need to spend time. It's quite interesting because although I'm saying newer to the journey, I really do feel all divine feminines are going through this right now. It's like not so much low self-esteem for all of us. It's it's more, it depends, like, because when you're a bit further along the journey, like, I would just put it as, it's like, if you've found yourself going back to just wanting to solve all the masculine's problems, like, you have to realise you can't do that. Like, they have to do that for themselves. You can be here for them when they reach out to you, but you can't solve anybody's problem for that matter. You know, you can hold space. Like, it's different like if you're a healer. Like, obviously I'm a healer, people come to me for the service, for me to help them in that place, but they're pulling me to that. A certain darkness is needed to see the stars. Like, so if you're in that, like, this is going to be the making of you. So this is for men and women. What you're going through right now is going to make you who you are. It made me who I am today. And any time I go through that, and it'll make your divine masculines that as well. And then it'll lead to, you know, the different career changes and that they want to do or you want to do if you're watching this. So it's just, you know, it's all part of God's plan, the greater plan. Right, what do we need to know for this feminine and separation? Whoever's going to resonate with this. And then I'll do deeper ones tomorrow. Oh, look at that. Feminine twin activating higher self and personal empowerment. Yeah, it's part of your personal empowerment. I feel there's huge, with a 9-9, I feel there's huge lessons ending there. And it's just like a deeper, more profound awareness of self-love, really. You know what I mean? And like, look, staying grounding's on the bottom. And welcome home, mission accomplished, and pathway to true love, and blossoming, like, and then receive the gift, Holy Grail. They just pulled me all of that, aligning with abundance. Right, I need to stop at some point. Fast track to ascension. So again, it's like, and then look, heal abandonment, which is huge for twin flames. I've said this for the past 8 years. Abandonment wounds are what all twin flames have. It's the core wound that we're all healing. And you often find from all the stories that I listen to and what I tune into, you know, there's always things like, you know, you think your twin flame abandoned you, but they think that you abandoned them, and it's crazy, all the ins and outs of it all. So it makes sense, you know, the more you focus on loving yourself even harder than hopefully you've already been doing, your twin will be encouraged to do that too. But if you keep focusing on them too much, that's if you're, depends how long you've been in separation. If you've only been in separation, you know, not that long, then you really need to hear that. But like I say, I think even the ones that have been apart years and years or decades need to hear it too, because it's like you have so much love for your twin, and time is an illusion. It's very, listen to the last Mediumship Monday message. Surrender to joy just jumped out, but I'm getting the feeling for the masculine, it's going to be like, yeah, they need to surrender to whatever makes them feel the slightest bit of joy, because it's a dark night of the soul, you know, because this is twins and separation. They're surrendering to spirit. Once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine, let spirit work its magic for you. But I'm getting the feeling it's like with surrender to joy jumping out, I feel it's for both. It's like both twins need to focus on their own happiness right now and healing, because Mercury retrograde is about rest, recover, rejuvenate, reevaluate. Mercury retrograde, to be honest, it is good for twin flame reconciliations if you've known them from your past. If it's like a past love coming back, like past life as in past lives ages ago, or in the past in this life, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because it's picking up something where you left it off, you know what I mean? That's what twin flames are like. It's like, it doesn't matter if you haven't seen them for like years on end or whatever, or it's just like, you know what I mean? You instantly just feel at home, or you feel triggered to fuck because they mirror all your trauma. Depends on which day you bump into them, you know what I mean? So you've always got to use your own discernment with your own journey. But yeah, they're trying to, all jokes aside, they're trying to listen to spirit, or you're trying to listen to spirit if you're the masculine, while the feminine's being guided to heal any low self-esteem, low self-worth, or, like say, you could reword it to be like, well, I suppose it would just be fears around, is this ever going to happen or something? That's what I was hearing in my head. And for some, it's even like, you know it's going to happen, and you know it's going to happen soon, but sometimes when something's going to happen soon, that can be even crack you up the most. So I hear. Right, so for the masculine, what have we got for the masculine? Oh, yes, look, the masculines, their heart is opening 9-9 again. It's, you know, this is endings. They're completing cycles, and they're setting love and boundaries. So I feel for twins that are in separation, there's a mixture of masculines that have ended romantic karmic situations, or like hooking up with other people or whatever, you know, like whatever the situation is there, whether it be long-term things or casual things. Like they're going in, some are going inwards, healing and hermiting and learning a lot about awakening and the journey and all of that kind of stuff, and a lot about the things that I channel about, like codependency, narcissistic behaviour, attachment styles, what else I've been talking about lately. The need for therapy. I haven't actually said that until 25 minutes deep, but yeah, that's why I say it all the time. You know, that's what helps you get your love and boundaries. And again, if you want to see some of my previous therapy clients sharing that, you can look at the playlist titled Soul Fam Stories or something, and you'll see people sharing how I've helped them. Yeah, and this is hard for divine masculine energies, because it's regardless of whatever it might seem, if you're aware of how you're, you know, if you know you're masculine or whatever, or how they operate there. Remember, if I'm talking to the masculine collective right now, you wear a mask. So, and I mean, regardless of your gender, I'm sure you would all admit that, and it's not really your true self unless you're a masculine twin that has stepped away from doing that as much. You know, to a certain extent, it's what you do being the matrix twin. But we're breaking free from the matrix. Yeah, and setting love and boundaries. Right, okay, I'd like to go deeper, but I can't actually be arsed. And my best pal's actually, what time is it? My best pal's phoning me when our kids are in bed, and it's probably going to be soon. Aye, minute. See, that's me putting me first. 11:11. Yeah, going through spiritual awakening, trying to really feel into the fact that you are enough, even if you're in your dark night soul, even if you're going through hell, even if there's a whole load of shit going on in your life and you're very overwhelmed, you are enough. Let go of expectations from yourself. And Master Alchemist, Violet Flame activation. Again, remember that you are that. Do you know what I mean? You're becoming one with yourself. You're blossoming, and you don't need to do it all in one go or overnight. And I feel when they're saying you are enough, it's like you are enough for your twin as well. So it's a very much being guided to me. I didn't use these for the other wave, but I'm being guided. So, it's about, you don't need to be perfect to come into union. You know what I mean? You just need to follow the signs leading you to union, and you don't need to force it either. It'll all just, like say with the North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio, you just need to notice the signs that are pulling you away from what's really hurting your heart and what's tugging at your heartstrings. But again, that gets complicated, because remember, your twin triggers you, but it's always going to empower you in the long run, like the Dark Night of Soul does. It's needed to see the stars. That's the best. That's probably why they led me to this. Probably why I like it. It's not easy, but you're going to be a better person at the end of it. Whereas a karmic, you'll just keep going down the road to hell. And sadly, you know, that's hard for me to say too, because lots of my friends have got that. But South Node in Scorpio is rough. Like, I mean, that's where it is now. It's like, depending on what that's meeting up with in your chart, it really is like a bottomless pit. You know what I mean? It's like you could just get dragged into a dark place, which is why, again, that's what I'm more going to channel about tomorrow. But it's that, when I watched that, how crazy was that, by the way? I was mind blown. I know I do it all the time, but I was mind blown. The fact that I've done that huge big video and channeled about the ADHD loads and all that, and then the James Arthur songs were the first two songs that were on the Spotify. And but like I say, like, he is my favourite. Like, he's my favourite. I was going to say he's one of them, but he is my favourite. Like, I love. There's probably only like 2 or 3 of his songs that I'm not so keen on. But even them ones, it's the ones that are about smoking and drinking and running away and stuff. So they're handy for when I'm channeling about TWINFLAMES, and actually probably I'm going to listen to some of them more now, because it's like, when if you're in the UK and you try and find it, I think it was BBC. Oh man, it was BBC One. So Maybe it'd be on iPlayer or something. I recorded it though, so I'm going to watch it again, but it was just so moving. Like, there's a great example of a divine masculine energy. Somebody that has all that money and all that success and has went from such an amazing rags to riches story. I mean, if you don't, just to sort of recap a little bit, like if you're in another part of the world and you don't know who this is, like if you sort of Google James Arthur, like he was living in a tiny little bed set, and he's just got like the voice of a fucking male angel to me. I mean, it's just, oh, I just love his voice and the way his words connect with emotion. And it's, and like say to me, I'm like, oh right, it makes sense why I feel his words, because he's got ADHD too. And you would only know it if you have ADHD, like whether it's inattentive like me or, you know, the other kind. It's like all the sorts of things that can overlap with how down you can get or lack of energy, or, you know, and again, everybody's prone to this, but it's well, it's, oh fuck, maybe I do need to read this now. Yeah, I'll read it now actually, because that actually tied in with what I'm saying. So this is what I was given when I was found out, when I got diagnosed with ADHD, right? And it made me cry. And the woman that I had was absolutely brilliant. Why are you so lazy? But you're not. But you're not lazy. Lazy is when you shrug things off because you can't summon up the give a damn. When you're curled up tight on your chair at your desk, alone and grey, and desperately wishing that you had your life in order, that you did all those things you had to do, that it didn't feel like breaking rocks just to feed and clothe yourself and get some sleep. That's not lazy. People don't understand. You tell them it's hard. They tell you, no, it isn't. You're just lazy. That's why I don't fucking like the word lazy. I fell back into saying it again on that. Like, I think I said it a few times last year. I fucking hate that word. You start to wonder if they're right. Is breaking those rocks easy for everyone else? Are they much stronger than you? They don't look like they're struggling. Just try harder, they say, but you're trying. It's not working. Breaking boulders in your path until you're spent isn't lazy, and you do it day after day after day. You're not lazy. Most people don't have those rocks to break. They don't even know what it's like to break rocks, to get things done. They don't understand how hard you have to work and how hopeless you can feel when you try and fail to do what they do easily. Is that stirring emotion in me? I think it might be. Oh, maybe I was meant to read it before the Scorpio moon tomorrow, because that would fuck me up. Things are harder for you. They really are. And if those people had to deal with your problems, they wouldn't be doing it any better. You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're fighting hard. I could see, I'm not only reading that for the people. Now, again, you can't diagnose yourself from me reading that, right? But all I'm saying is, I've not pointed it out to people that they've got dyslexia, dyspraxia, or ADHD, but can I sort it right a fucking way? Oh, look, 33 minutes. So, again, I feel that's for some divine masculines out there, because it got to 33 minutes, but, and that can be men or women. But it's also going to really tie in with the Dark Night of Soul. That's why I feel I'm reading it. But it's like, what I'm saying is yeah, can I spot it in adults and children? Absolutely, because I've got a background with both, of healing and therapy and counselling and life coaching and bloody blah blah shamanic healing. Like, I can tell, you know, that is my scary superpower. Or depends which way you see it. It's incredibly helpful, because if you're self-sabotaging constantly and you want to get to the bottom of it, I've got all the tools pretty much to help get to the bottom of it, to stop you doing it. It's just you've got to be ready. I mean, that really is bottom line. It's just fear that stops people from booking a session with me, you know what I mean? And then, or some people would be like, no, Claire, it's money. But again, I would say that there's loads of you out there that have had money at some point, depending on how long you've been, to do a session with me, and you've not booked it. Why? If you had the money there, you know what I mean? It's fear. So again, this is what I'm saying. It's you'll do it when you're ready. But that goes for anything. But it's because things do change, because once you identify where you're keeping yourself stuck, then you're going to have to do the hard work to do something about it. So it's like, for instance, say somebody came to me and we done hypnotherapy to get to the bottom of why you're self-sabotaging. Right. Once we find the issue, which I'll not give an example now, but once we find the issue, it could be that it's real complex trauma. So what would be advisable is that you have therapy for it. That's not a quick fix. You're then going to need to do a course of therapy. Do you know what I mean? But it could be, so it could be that somebody comes to me something, and I am able to help them one session, and I don't ever see them again. It's just, who knows? It's a different, like, I can think of people that have come to me for things about smoking or gambling, or like things that they've thought, oh, this is going to take loads of money and loads of sessions, or being stuck with like in a toxic marriage or whatever, and they don't. And if people have come to me, we've done one session, and amazingly, all those examples I've given are real examples. Like, things have turned around like after the session, because soul retrieval is everything that I do, mixed in with all the different healing modalities. It might take anything from like 3 weeks to sometimes it might take a couple of months, but what was done in that session starts to unfold. Anyway, don't know who needed to hear all of that, but I just love that wee thing, because look, it's so cute, but it just really touched something in me. Like I say, that woman that I was paired with, because that was through the NHS, you know what I mean? It's and I just feel I was really, really lucky. I mean, she knows that I'm a medium, and obviously I'm not there now, but it was like, it wasn't, and it's not very long you get either. It's because I can think of friends of mine that then recognise that they had it, and anyway, I'm not going to get into all of that, but it's like, they'll try and talk you out of it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm very grateful that I actually even got that, because it's, I always get mixed up. It was an occupational health therapist. Is that what it's called? Occupational therapy? Yeah, because before I wouldn't even fucking know what it was, but it was just basically so that I could sort my shit out when it comes to my work. You know what I mean? Because there I am, incredibly talented, but I wasn't making any money. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I can still slip into that from time to time. Not really so much now, because I've got the tools there to, you know what I mean? I've got the organisational tools and all that, and like, because from that, this was years ago, so from that point on, basically, somebody obviously needs to hear this. From that point on, I started talking to myself even nicer than what I'd already been focused on, with talking about self-love and blah blah blah, because it's about how you talk to yourself in your head, as I think what they're getting at as I get to 37 minutes. And that can be very different, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, I know that, I've got Saturn and Scorpio, so, Scorpio's brutal energy, it's pain, right? And Saturn is strict, it's cracking the whip. So I use that in a really powerful way with my Mars and Scorpio to, well, for loads of reasons. Like, again, that's the sexual energy that I generate that helps, do a lot of healing around sacral chakra stuff, and like womb activation, and, helping twins that are in union, or, balance your energy while you're in separation, all this kind of stuff, right? And it's also what helps me people with boundaries, because Capricorn is boundaries, Saturn rules Capricorn, Scorpio doesn't take any shit, bloody blah, all the shadow work stuff. But for me personally, it's kind of rough. You know what I mean? I'm used to it. It's not fucking boo-hoo, but it's like, up until, I would say, the past, would I say the past year, or a bit longer than that? Probably the past year. That's really when I stopped giving myself such a hard time. But I always felt like, I had to do better, I had to do better. And there's loads of reasons for that. My astrology, and, and just loads of reasons. But now I just don't give myself such a hard time, you know what I mean? It's like how I took a few days off there, I'm like, so fuck, you know what I mean? It's meant to be my time off anyway, so I was only doing it because I was a bit bored, and then when I kind of was like, oh, I need a bit of time myself, it makes sense, you know what I mean? So whoever needs to hear that, it's about, just assess, like, do you give yourself a bit of a hard time too? And, maybe look to see where your Saturn is in your chart. And again, if you don't know where it is, you could book a session and I'll look. And again, that's just, you could book my normal session, and so it wouldn't be that the astrology psychic empowerment, because that psychic astrology empowerment rather, because that's ours and it's done over a few sessions now, or we could do it in one big sitting, but that's a bigger investment, changes your life, blah blah blah. It's like a fucking therapy in like a few sessions, fast tracking it. But in a normal session, I could have a quick look at your chart, say if I'd looked at it before, or even if I hadn't looked at it before, but I wouldn't be able to spend any longer than the hour, so I'd just look at what was sticking out to me. Right, anyway, so where were we at? So again, there must be someone in twin flame separation that's going to resonate with all that for me to have taken the time, because yeah, all sort of like say when I watched that James Arthur documentary, there was too many synchronicities with the fact that I channeled all about that really in depth, and then watching that was really touching. And like say, whenever his songs are coming on now since, it's like they've always touched me, but like actually kind of feeling what was going on behind them. The fact that as well, I never knew that he'd been with a girl for like 10 years, and it's like she looks like a really lovely, you know, good looking, but also just like a really lovely person. She was crying about the fact that, you know, just worrying about when he gets in that state of mind. It was just fucking talk about heartbreaking. And it doesn't help that I watched fucking Me Before You over the weekend too. Holy fuck, that was yesterday. Oh my Christ. I dodged watching that film for ages because I thought it looked like a load of shit. How wrong was I? So again, oh, interesting the way I worded it like that. There's something that somebody watching this, you like the way that you saw something before, the way that you view it. And I feel this has happened to all of the twin flames. On so I don't know, you know, it's definitely happened with me too. But it's like on some level, the way that you thought something looked, it's like you've had like a huge turnaround in the way that you're perceiving it. Bit of a hanged man moment is what I would call it. It's, yeah, just a further awakening of, I thought it was like this, but maybe it's actually like that. It's hard to describe what I mean, but yeah, anyway, if you're in the UK, definitely try and watch that documentary because it was really moving. And it's actually, I suppose it's just along with the ADHD thing, like I do feel for people that get diagnosed late like that, because like I said, I'd also watched the one with the reality show guy, Tommy, and I'm only saying like that for the people that don't know what these shows are. Yeah, it was really sad when he was diagnosed late as well, because it can really sort of fuck with your mind. You're like, because then you start thinking, well, why did I not get that support that other people would have had? As you know, like, you know, it's you go through anger, you go through a lot of emotions, trust me. And then you can still get triggered from times. I mean, I get triggered about stuff like this from time to time. It's not really too often, but it could happen. Anyway, maybe some of your children are going through stuff like this as well. It'll be something out there, and it'll be more than just one of you. It'll be a few people that resonate with it. But I'm sure I'll channel about that again tomorrow somehow, but maybe not, maybe that's it. Right, okay, so this is the silent heart card. So what is the masculine want to say, the feminine in that separation, whether it's like a short you know, when I say short separation, people that have been apart for a year or two, or could be even months, but I think it would tend to be longer for the people that tune in to me, but that's why I'm interested whether anybody actually resonates with the first spell, but I'll need to watch it back and see. But how would I know? You know what I mean? It's your situ, so when it's one of the newer ones, because I'm definitely not new to the journey. You're the first thing on my mind when I wake up in the morning. Interesting, when I was shuffling before I came on, that came out. And it's true. When you know somebody's your twin flame, that is the truth. They're the first thing you think about when you wake up. And they're the last thing you think about before you go to sleep. You know what I mean? And all the fucking hours in between the days. Holy joking. Unless you've got something to distract yourself, if you haven't, you're fucked, and it'll be that. But it's that slow. Oh yeah, and then actually they'll go back to the first pile. So although I said that's for people that are new to the journey, you learn to balance that as you go along. But that's a wee message for whoever that's going to. And somebody wishes they could give you more, but they can't right now because they wish they could fix things, but they're stuck in toxicity. So that could be their own thoughts. It could be caught up in, you know, casual encounters is what I heard, or just, you know, self-sabotage of any kind. But the chemistry between us is off the charts. And I act like I don't care when deep down I really do. But unhealthy attachments in reverse. Oh my god, look guys, mental health. Look what I've just been fucking saying, see what I mean? Mental health and spiritual awakening. Shit, that's the fucking thumbnail. Yeah, look, I'm filled with regret, silent treatment, and I'm done playing games. So it's a wee mixture of messages that will resonate with people. I didn't mean what I said. Oh, somebody said Saturn in Mercury retrograde. Childhood wound and its influence in my actions. Wow, see, look, this is like, fucking, it's not for everyone, but that's why I'm talking about the James Arthur thing, because the thing that hit me, oh my god, the strongest, and that's when I'm listening, one of my, I mean, again, I can't pick because they're all my favourite, but I really like that Quite Miss Home, right? Because it sounds like he's talking to his mum or something, actually, but, oh god, right. This is what I put, look, cooking without mother, right? This is a magnet I've got in my kitchen. I don't even know how I've got that, by the way. I feel like I've nicked it from my mum and dad's or something without meaning to. I'm like, I think that's mine. Anyway, that's by the by. My mum's not going to be bothered. But it's, and I'm a good cook thanks to my mother, do you know what I mean? But when it's so funny, like this sits in my kitchen on a magnet thing, and it's like, I always get pulled to it, right, when I've had a session with a client where it's like, I might stop saying soul fam client, because it's like, it's, you know, I always say soul fam client, but it's so that you know that, like, my connections are more than just, you know, everybody means a lot to me, but it's a bit annoying to say so. Anyway, whenever I've had like a mediumship session where it's something about a mother in spirit or a grandmother, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, but I'm thinking of one where it was really quite deep when I'd done a soul retrieval with an older woman, and it was actually in person, and it was just, yeah, long story short, it was really beautiful, and it was healing that person's wounded inner child. Now, like I say, this woman was a lot older than me, but her inner child was still stuck in this wounded place. So that can happen to anyone and everyone. So that's why soul retrieval is so important. Now, again, you might have had healing in some other sort of way, and it is soul retrieval, but somebody's calling it some other big fancy thing. You know what I mean? It's like there's loads of things that I'm doing that I don't call it that, but it'll be the same thing as what somebody else is doing. Like, it's hard to describe it. I've noticed that a long time ago when I was doing my counselling training, or really when I've actually done training in anything. I'm like, I can always see the connections. Like, wait a minute, that's exactly the same as that, but they're calling it something else. So what I'm saying is, as long as you're sort of doing something to undo the toxicity and the, you know, reprogramming the patterns. But I really, what I keep stressing is, don't leave yourself helpless. I mean, it's worth this being longer, but don't leave yourself helpless if you have got abandonment wounds or trauma. Basically, everyone's got trauma, but if you've got, you know, trauma that's kind of real deep, dark stuff that you feel you have to deal with alone, you don't. Like, there is people like me out there that have got a lot of experience, a lot of training, a lot of just natural gift from gods. But again, I've got training in loads of different modalities to back up this stuff, you know, along with being a counselor, you know, hypnotherapist, all these kind of things. And again, I'm stressing all these things because these are all the things that I do. Like, and again, you know, it's just, they're all powerful when they stand alone, but together, it's, you know, it's not too much for me to handle, you know. And I've moved through the part of my life where it would get a bit hazy between when I was helping people with that too informally, and professionally. Like, even there, I think that must mean something, the fact that I'm like, I'm going to stop saying soul fam client, like it's my client, you know what I mean? I don't have to prove myself to anyone that I love my clients, you know what I mean? I do fucking love my clients, and some of them I consider best pals, but it's kind of like, I'm not going to say soul fam client, but it's just quite funny to me. I mean, I'm looking at that, but anyway, right, okay, blah blah blah. Right, moving on. Lastly, twins in union. So if you're in union, meaning, I was going to say, would that go for like if you, like, if you've reunion, like, I don't know, you can do it, you can make it fit you. I was going to say if you see them now and again or whatever the situ is there, it might resonate, but I'm meaning like ones that live together and that, and you might have a family and stuff. So this there are some out there. I know it's like fucking finding unicorns, but but no, trust me, I do know. It's like, again, for anyone that hasn't heard me sort of channel about that, if you're new, like, it's like the people that I can think of that are twin flames, I can think a lot of them where it's like, the feminine will know, and possibly have done either a lot of sort of spiritual sort of healing or dabbled in it, and the masculine doesn't have a clue. And then what it tends to be is like these people will be very in love. Like, I'm thinking of like about 3 different sets of people here, and they'll went through all the different sort of hurdles that twin flames go through. But it's like the big hurdle that a lot of them will be in now is that there's a deep sense of unworthiness and self-love needing to be looked at within each person. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, what can happen there is you can think there's something wrong with your relationship when it actually isn't that. It's just you need to love yourself. And if it's your twin mirrors that back. So you could think, oh my God, that's really deep. I could be saving someone's marriage right now, guys. But it's true. It's like you could think they need to change when actually it's not that anyone needs to change. It's just that you both need to love yourself more. But, and I just looked at 50-50 when I said that. I'll need to look up what that means. But, well, I know it. 5 means big change and 0s means new beginning. So it's just big changes in a relationship. I feel... That's really deep. Why are they pulling me to these? Let's see then. So what's going on with the feminine then in union? Because again, confusingly, a lot of the 2 of the twin flames that I'm thinking of, right, they're women, and it's people that I've connected with, but they're in divine masculine energy, and they're masculine. I'm not so much sure about one that I'm thinking of. I'm not so much, it's like I don't know him as well, so I can't really say whether he's in feminine. But the other one, definitely, like, I have seen it in it, and it is quite fascinating when you're out of it. It's like she's the divine masculine, very analytical, and all that. Yeah, that's what analytical is just coming to me, and just kind of like a bit low self-esteem, low self-worth, and he's quieter and will only sort of open up a bit more once he's more comfortable, but just feminine, yeah. But what I'd actually felt about them when I'd sort of said that was like, look, I think you'll fit, because she doesn't know too much about this, right? It was just from what it's like, basically, what I'd sort of acknowledged was I feel like if you stop sort of doing so much in the masculine energy and let him take the lead, I think you'll find things will balance out. Like, he'll begin to become more masculine and you'll be more in your feminine. And I was going to say where you should be, but there's no sort of should it could be. You know what I mean? It's just women as a whole, from what we've seen with the women around us, where a lot of women are far too in their masculine energy. This is why I'm always saying sometimes it's like you're a woman in masculine energy, you're going to say the masculine, your masculine's in feminine. But sometimes it's like you're actually meant to be in feminine energy, and I'm helping you shift into that, and then your masculine shows up. You know what I mean? It's different for different people. It's very confusing, but fascinating. So the feminine in union, I feel like I ruined everything. See what I mean? This is, I love these. I mean, I don't love that someone feels like that, but I love, of course, honestly, I've got more. I'm going to introduce them slowly. It's just, God, they're just all so intense. I love it. My Scorpio energy is like, I love it. I feel like I ruined everything. So, low self-esteem is what I'm getting from that. I feel terrible for hurting you. Oh, I was kind of getting that, like, I'm afraid of commitment. What the fuck's going on there? So that's like, it does kind of feel like somebody's, why does it feel like somebody's, I feel like somebody's sort of strayed away from home, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I can't really cheat. I'm kind of like, I'm not really wanting, don't be suspicious of all your alters anyway. Let's see the mask comes back. See, this feels like a confusing one again. I am so sorry. What the fuck? I check on you from afar. That doesn't make sense if it's twins in union. Our story isn't over yet. It isn't. Wasn't over. Still isn't over. Notebook. I'm planning on reaching out to you. Right, well, that makes fuck all sense. I pulled away because I'm overwhelmed with the things going on in my life. That more feels like, that feels like not union. That's what I'm actually going to say. That feels like people that were like close to union. And then it's like someone's been, that's what it is. Someone's been scared and they've sabotaged it. So it might not be that they've cheated, it's not cheating. But again, do you know what this is? It's like that, although I'm saying divine feminine, and I was thinking that's it's like a woman that is in divine masculine energy that has been afraid of commitment, so they've actually got into commitment with someone else. Like, I mean, they've just, they've hooked up with someone else. And then the twins, there's a lot of mirroring it anyway. I'm going to need to watch that back too. But anyway. So sorry, twins that are married that I know that. Well, I fucking hope that's not them. Again, I'm going to need to check in with these people to see if everything's alright. But it's like, it's, right. Where does the divine feminine need to surrender? Surrender your need to always be right. Give others the gift of letting them be right. Be yielding, not rigid. This will help resolve conflicts and improve your relationships. But you see how that actually makes sense if you're in a relationship with someone. Like, especially with guys. Like, sorry guys, you know that's true. But it's like, or anybody that does, I'm going to say guys. Anyone that's masculine brained, it's like, nobody likes a know-it-all. You know what I mean? Like, allow somebody else a chance to be right. I'm getting chills at the top of my head when I'm saying that there. And it's what I said at the start. Channel something about like nobody's expecting you to be perfect. You know what I mean? And I feel it's bringing me back to what I've channeled about the different attachment styles. Is I felt that whirling around quite a lot in the collective, that like there's a lot of like really high expectations of yourself, which you then project onto your twin, like feeling like your twin's going to expect you to be this perfect person, that you're going to have to hide all your flaws, your imperfections, when actually that's what your twin will love about you. And if they don't love about you, they'll accept it about you. You know what I mean? We've got to hope and believe. But not joking. It's true. You know what I mean? So chill out, people out there that feel like that, right? And then the divine masculine, look, surrender to joy, divine masculines. So but you see how that fits? When the feminine allows the masculine to get it right, like basically don't be a nagging woman. Nobody likes a nagging woman. Nobody likes a nagging anything. You know what I mean? But it's like, see where you're maybe falling into generational patterns of somebody that's always like, you've not done this and you've not done that. And it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes that isn't even you. You've just like, you know, it's like, yeah. It's hard to explain what I mean because it's hard to explain. It's just hard to explain what I mean. A key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savour it. What I was just thinking about there, I'm thinking about people I know, right? And I'm thinking about when I have witnessed people moaning at men about like stupid shit, and I'm like, that doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? In the grand scale of things, and maybe that's just because I am so deep, and maybe it's because I've just been channeling about the James Arthur documentary when I watched grown ass men saying that they attempted to kill themselves and hang themselves and all that, and I'm thinking, you know, I always just kind of take it to that extreme, but that's when I think I don't think I know I'm here to be a channel from the divine for twin flames specifically, but for anyone that comes across this to be like, whether you're a twin in union, whether you're a twin in separation, whether you know who your twin is or not, it's like, whether it's you that feels like that or them, especially though this is really deep, it's about what was really occurring to me was, if you've ever had a time like that in your life where you feel really, really down, definitely in the time we're living in now, there's every likeliness. Yes, it is your emotions that you're tapping into sometimes, but I've had moments where, and because I like to make voice notes and that, I've had moments where I've been upset, like, you know, letting it out. It's like I'm basically counselling myself, but it's like, you know, like talking out loud to work out what I'm feeling, to clear the energy. And then sometimes I'll say things and I'm like, fucking hell, like, what am I saying that for? And then when I listen to it back, I'm like, that's him. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's the only way I can describe it. And then that's what a lot of the time can help me work out for when I'm picking up things, whether it be about for me or for others. And it's something that, you can't sort of prove in the moment, and nobody needs to prove it. But what I'm saying is, it's just, we all have our moments of feel. Oh God, going really into the Scorpio energy. We all have our moments of feeling really shit. And I feel that's why it's really important that to throw away the rule book about whatever you've heard from me or anyone else when it comes to, if you start to sort of feel like somebody really needs to hear from you. And I can't tell you what that's going to feel like. You'll know. I've had those moments before, and I have done something about it. And again, I know that whenever the time comes for us to have a heart to heart, he'll tell me. I wouldn't ask him. He'll tell me if he wants to tell me, if he appreciated me reaching out to. It would have just been to say happy birthday or whenever it is. I've done that in the past, but yeah, like, so for instance, like, like I had a really peaceful Christmas and everything. So I'm sharing this so that, again, if any of the masculine collective, whether it's men, women, whatever he identifies, and even men, if he's tuning this, that the point when I felt a build up of the whole sort of Christmas and the year and all that sort of pressure was, I was trying to trace it back, because I had the voice note. I was like, all right, and it was like, I'd had a really lovely Christmas dinner with my mum and dad, right? It was like really, really peaceful, and yeah, it was just, honestly, it was one of the nicest Christmases I'd ever had. 144. And I felt, 144, I felt really imbalanced. And even my dad even made a comment. I was laughing, telling my pal, my dad made a comment about kind of like, just generally, like, guys must be crazy, like, not a, I don't know, I can't, it was something like that, and I was like, Dad, you're not meant to say that, but I was like, what? It was meant to be a compliment, but again, I said, sorry, if my dad's watching this in this light, he'll be laughing, but it's like, oh, my dad's got ADHD too. He's not diagnosed right, because he's in his 60s, but he definitely has, because he just fucking says shit, and it's like, Dad, you really can't say shit like that. But anyway, I understand him, so. And it was like, I was like, well, thanks. But it was just nice, you know what I mean? There was no arguments, there was no drama, and usually there is, right? We drink, somebody's always causing some kind of drama, you know what I mean? And it wasn't, it was just really peaceful. And then I came home and I just sort of chilled, and I'm going to give you a big lowdown because it's a bit boring, but I watched When Harry Met Sally. Now, that's funny because it's not exactly resonant with my experience, but it is in the way of, I fucking hope it's not resonant in that way, but I love the stories at the end when the old people are talking, and it's like stories of like, I met her when I was 16 and I didn't see her again for 30 years, and then I saw her walking down the stairs and all that, and it was, you know what I mean? I just love all those stories because it's like, they're really just, never give up hope. I mean, not everyone's want to hang on for that long, but it's like, it's lovely. And then also in that film, they stay like best friends, but it's more it's the themes that it's more the fact that like she realizes her deeper feelings about him before, just a bit before he does. It's not even loads before, it's a bit before he does. Like, basically they're both in denial and then they admit it, and that's what I love about the film. It's not exactly like my situ because, well, I was about to say I wasn't in denial, but I definitely was at one point, but mine was like much earlier on into knowing him. But anyway, blah blah blah. Anyway, I think that just sort of triggered a lot of shit in me, right? Because it was like, because then it was like I was watching, I don't know, I've watched so many films, I fucking forget. I finally watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days yesterday, Charlotte, because I know that'll be loads of your favourites, but I was almost going to buy the DVD because I was like, I really want to watch it again, so I'm glad that came on. Because it was the bit that I particularly love is, I do love it at the end and all that, because it's the same. It's like, she's running away, so it's like she's divine masculine. It's like she's running away. But what made me laugh, right, and this is going to make you laugh, cringe, but I was like, I was kind of half watching it, half not. And I was actually channeling like messages for like, I'm going to write on just bits of blank card, because I'm like, I really need to utilize these feelings of like, you know, like tapping into the pain of it to write the cards. At the same time, but it was like basically what occurred to me was like, when she writes a newspaper article to basically say like, look, oh anyway, I'm not going into the big story, but you know, she writes a newspaper article and it's basically, you know, she's kind of saying, look, this is how I feel about this guy, but I fucked it up, and then she runs away. I was like, that's like me doing this. Kinda. But I've not fucked it up at all. It's going to plan. But it's, I don't know what the plan is, I'm just following the plan. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, all jokes aside, it's helping me, it's helping him, and it's all coming together the way it should. And which knowing me and him will be totally here, there, and every fucking where. But it'll all work out in the end. And it's why I've said before, but I'm being called to say it again, that, you know, there's loads of films that remind me of the dynamic that I have with mine and my twin flame, but one of the ones that really popped in my head there is Silver Linings Playbook. Obviously, if you've seen that, you'll know what I mean, because they're both fucking nuts, man. You know what I mean? Like, they're both crazy in a different kind of way. And I'm not like, no offence to like the different kind of things that they struggle with, but what I mean is, it's like they're both just calling a spade, and people are like, fuck, you can't say things like that. And it's like, who can't? You know what I mean? And I know that's what I'm like, and I've definitely seen my one act like that over the years. So, you know, unless he's had a complete personality transplant, I'm sure that will still be there. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, it is what it is. And that's why you understand your twin flame so much, because it's your energy. And you're their energy. But you trigger each other. You know what I mean? Oh, and also, wow, I think they just gave me that example, because remember in that film, spoiler alert if you want to watch it, it's a good film, but in that film he waits right till the fucking end of the film to be like, oh, I knew the first minute I met you. But he's fucking harping on about fucking writing a letter to his wife and that, and you're like, what the fuck? But again, I suppose they're using that, and I've never thought about that, but they're using that analogy about that's like the divine masculines that, let's shuffle these cards, I'm saying that, it's like, you know, they do a good job of wearing a mask and making it look like they don't like you, and even that they like someone else, when actually it's not the truth. And that's what I was meaning about having a bit of a perspective change around things. So it's hard to explain what I mean about that really, but I just mean like, you might have thought that they're acting a certain way because of ego or because of something like that, and it's not necessarily wrong, because ego comes from fear, but it could be like it could be from a bit more of a wounded place, you know, and it's like about, well, it's just basically look at yourself. Like, I know when I can, and I'm not going to go too deep, but I know when I think back to circumstances where I was in public places with him after it went weird, I always say this, but I was like the Little Mermaid. I literally lost my voice. And it was the weirdest experience ever, but like, I just froze. I just could not speak to him, or I just froze. So I never forget. Well, I'm trying to never forget that. What I'm saying is, that'll be interesting when that's the right time. That I wouldn't be surprised if he experiences those kind of feelings around me, because it would make it that's what I felt around him. And you could go the way of, well, now you know how I felt, but that doesn't help anyone, does it? Not ultimately when you want union. So it's about having empathy, about, you know, just tapping into, yeah, I can feel they're telling me people need to hear that. It's like, it was just agonising. I didn't know why I was acting like that. And again, I can analyse it to the hills with my Scorpio energy. Like, that's dyspraxia. I didn't know I had ADHD at that point, but that's very, you know, just going socially awkward, and then because you fancy someone and blah blah blah. But it was also because the energies are balancing out and it's intense, and yeah, anyway. Silent Heart, let's see if something adds to that, why I had to go into that. Yeah, look at that. Wow, that really did fit, and I get emotional when I think of you. And that's what I'm saying, you see, I can speak from my personal experience with ADHD, and a lot of people with ADHD get drawn to me. It's about regulating your emotions, and some people can't do that well, and that can lead to anxiety and depression and worse. And this is why that documentary really touched something in me, because I am a medium that also picks up on a lot of people that took their own life, and I know loads of people that took their own life, and it's well, I just feel I'm somebody here that's here to prevent that too. I mean, that's pretty strong, but it's true, and it's like you've got to assess on these sort of things. It's like with the times that we're living in, you've got to assess where you're coming from ego or whether you're coming from unconditional love, and it can be quite hard to tap into sometimes. I'm not going to lie, because when I think about me personally as well, it's like over the years, like wait a minute, I feel like I can be my true self around you. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's the kind of stuff I want to know the answers to. But when I think about sometimes when I know that he's been single and I've been single, and I've been thinking, well, he knows that I'm single, and that surely he knows that, like, I've no fucking moved on. Everybody knows that. And that I would love to hear from him at any fucking point, at any fucking time, any day. You know what I mean? Like, it's all I've ever wanted. By the way, it was all the ones when I said that, total alignment. And then, but I'm now wondering if we, and then I would go to be thinking, you know, he must be wanting to be footloose and fancy free after being in relationships and stuff. And then, but knowing, like, I've always, you know what I mean? I knew that he still had a thing for me, but he sort of puts it away in a box and fucking on a big high shelf or something. But I'm now sort of thinking, I wonder if at these different windows of time, whether he's thought kind of a bit similar, like he's maybe thought to himself, well, Claire will have definitely heard that I'm single, and she's not reached out, so she's probably wanting nothing to do with me, and I don't think she'd be open to hear it. I just don't know, right? I don't know, because I'm not him. I can't word it completely, but I've just had loads of sort of I might be wrong too, but again, I don't think I am if I'm saying that. Like, it's just loads of different, and then it's also that I could go deeper with that. It's like, yeah, there was loads of different situations where it's like I would find out like much further down the line when I could have found out a bit sooner, and then it's like I bet he would have thought that I knew, and I didn't. And then, but anyway, you could sort of break that apart forever. But it's kind of like then I would always just go back to what most people would say is that, like, well, they know where you are if they want to find you, and that is kind of true. But what I'm saying is, what I've been picking up on is it's like what that woman said to me a couple of years ago. A client, when I'd helped her all day, and like I say, that's the one that I always share that turned her whole fucking life around. I'm pretty sure she's married with a kid, or maybe even be a couple of kids now, and that could have all went a very different way. And she'd said something to me that was just kind of like, you know, just don't be so sure that he's gonna have the confidence or the self-worth to reach out to you. Like, he might just feel like you don't want to hear from him. And like that's when I was like, you know, my first reaction would be like, no, he fucking definitely knows I want to hear from him. But then that's where it's like over time, it's like, no, that actually really fits with every single divine masculine woman and a few men that I've spoken to over the past 8 years. But even I would say over the past sort of 4 years, 4 to 5 years, it's so why would it be any different for mine? And that's where I feel you're meant to come. You know, like everyone, even me that's been helping people for ages, it's like, I mean, but and the thing is, like, oh, for fuck's sake, I think, you know, you shouldn't compare, but with most people, like, you see, I've got like so much unconditional love for my twin. It's not even funny. Like, but what I'm saying is, it's like it's went to an even deeper level of, which is why I'm saying I'm meant to be someone that's doing this, because I don't think he can hear enough, no matter what situation he's in, that I would always want to hear from him. and I'll never give up on them. Yep. Right, so, and I didn't use these cards. I went right from a deep moment to, right, Divine Feminine, Personal Empowerment, Divine Masculine, Time to Forgive, Healing, Abandonment. Fucking hell, that's after what I just said. And then look what I just said, look, I'm a twin flame facilitator, expansive growth. But I feel that's about what I was saying about whatever difficulty, because look, that's a guy that's fucking going through it. It's like, whatever, and by the way, I have to notice the synchronicity, me just talking about me and then going to this. So it's like, look, that's what I feel about my twin. You might be like, what the fuck are you talking about right now? But like, I feel like whatever he's going through in his dark night of soul, he needs to work with forgiving himself, because I forgave him years ago. Like, and even for the stuff that I don't know about, I don't fucking care, right? I forgive you. Like, we're in the ascension process. You know what I mean? What can I say? It's made me who I am. It's made me move into unconditional love. But I feel it has to be, look, karmic relationships behind it too. So whatever karmic relationships there's been for me and him, it's made us who we are. And that's what I was saying before. It's activating the higher chakras, balancing the energies. If you don't do that daily, you really should, everyone. And your twin will feel it if they're not doing it for themselves. But it's like, I feel that about my twin. I feel whatever he's going through, whatever pain he's going through right now, whatever he's moved through or moving through, he'll be helping people, obviously, alongside me in his own way. And again, I'm not going to finish that, because I don't know how he wants to do that. I don't know if he even wants to do it at all, but I'm pretty sure he does. Even if he doesn't even realise it right now. It's all very complicated. Right, guys, I'm going to end it there because I spoke for ages. But what do we all just as a whole need to, as a whole, as in we are all one, what do we need to surrender to tonight? Oh my God. Hey, it's the same cards. See what I mean? We really are one. Right, I know I said one, but look. Surrender to joy. And I didn't even read that before, did I? A key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savour it. Indulge in random acts of smiling during both the hard and easy times. Keep surrendering more joy. Fuck, what time is it actually? My pal's going to call me. Surrender to your attachment results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. Again, that's about trusting that your masculine will move towards you when he's ready, but buffering it with, if you get a strong indication of needing to reach out to them, trust that too, right? It's a personal call. Surrender low self-esteem, because it could be you that's in that, it could be them, or you could be in it at the same time. You deserve success, love and abundance. Set an intention, identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem, and then look, surrender divine timing. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing all the time. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow, because it's Mercury retrograde. So what I'm getting from that is there's a lot of communication that is delayed right now, because it's meant to be. It's Mercury retrograde. You're meant to be resting, going within, and as soon as things are meant to pick up, they will. And then just to further clarify that, we've got divine timing, and I'm going to shuffle these and I'm going to end it. So it ended up being an hour and 20 minutes anyway. That seems to be where I get led to stop. Did you see the last couple of videos where I stopped were all the ones? That's about alignment too, like what my eyes have been drawn to in this video. Clarity, a fresh start, a positive outlook. Trust the seasons. Embrace and change cycles of life, transition, growth. Trust the season you're in. Some of you are in the fertile void right now. Inner winter, rest, patience, potency, secret beginnings. Again, I've said this before. Secret beginnings. This can be the masculines that are healing. There's a secret beginning coming. They're healing on their own, and they'll just pop out of nowhere when you least expect it, right? And some of this is twins healing in secret already, and it's like rapture. And that's definitely what those ones will be doing. It's like someone had said to me once, it's like, yeah, that's why you're not like to reunite your twin flame, because you'd just be shagging all the time. But it is what it is. Sensuality, love, devotion, romance, ecstasy, pleasure. But of course you wouldn't, because for fuck's sake, it's great and all that, but there's other shit to do in life, do you know what I mean? But when it's your twin flame, it is a bit addictive. Right. With all that, and I'd imagine it'd be even worse once you have a heart-to-heart and you really want to show your love to the one you love. Anyway, I'll think I better stop there. See, you can tell that Scorpio energy is coming in. Do we need one of these cards after saying that? I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, look, because it's like, look, he's kissing her feet. I always think that's like a karmic card, but it's more like, look, it's just like he's like admiring her and putting in the hard work. That's the morning after. And that's the ones that are in separation, like, I'm just going to paint him for the rest of my life because I miss him so much. And he's like, I wonder what she's doing, I miss her so much. Right, okay. And you can change the he and she, whatever. Right, she's later, I hope this made you laugh and smile, especially if you're in your dark night, so you need to be laugh. Remember, a certain darkness is needed to see the stars, and you will come out of this as I did. See you later, love yous.